All right, short day, pre-holiday day, and even this day, today, NVIDIA decides to close 4.5% in a half a trading day session. So 128, that's where we are sitting, and 4.5% gain. So let's switch to daily chart. First of all, if you take a look at the technical of the NVIDIA, after this huge pullback that we had, 15%, well, for the past 2 weeks or so, it has been moving sideways in very small range compared to today. Today was pretty decent day, 5.5%, 4.5%. It's a pretty big move for a almost like $3 trillion company. So it was pretty big move, but you can see after this drop, volume has been declining as well. So again, there are three things can happen. It can definitely chop around before it reports earnings. It can trade in a big range. It can try to push towards its highs of 140 and contract right there before it reports earnings. Or it can chop here and then it slide and go lower. So right here, right now, if we take a look at the moving averages of the NVDA, you can see this gray line on my chart represents the 5-day moving average, and this blue line is 20-day. Both are basically turning, and 20-day, of course, it's in an uptrend. This yellow line right here is the 50-day moving average. That's where I was interested, possibly if it tests that level, to play it long, but we're not seeing it yet. So if you're somebody who is trying, but just by looking at this price action, that you want to short this name, I think you are better off just setting aside that money, because especially if you're somebody who is doing it with options, I'm sure you're not doing well. So this price action for today, you can consider it as a sort of a breakout for the past 7-8 trading sessions, where this level of 128, give or take 128, was a resistance for NVDA. Now from here, we have a little bit of actually we did fill this gap, so we don't have any gaps to fill to the upside, but the highest closing price for NVDA so far, 135.50. So if we go up there and close higher, that would be the highest close. Option market. So before we take a look at, yes, I know there are many people screaming that the market breadth is so low, only a few names pushing the market. I know that. Only if you take a look at the S&P 500 year to date, today it made another new high, 15% or so, right? But if you take a look at the individual names inside of S&P 500, where we have 504 names, 503 names, only 120 names are outperforming S&P 500, 115 names. And even Apple is underperforming the actually S&P 500. But NVIDIA, the point is, still the best. SMCI, of course, it was added from Russell 2000. But in S&P 500, NVIDIA is the biggest contributor to S&P 500's rally. Okay? So yes, it will pull back at some point. But let's take a look at the option activity. But I'm not betting that this stock is going to come down right here, right now, before it reports earnings. Call volume, you can see 66%, puts 33% of today's total. Very big, actually, volume. Both Tesla and NVIDIA had 4.2 million on a short date. That's actually a lot. So option market actually doesn't care if it's short day or long day. They're pushing their volume, and that's so far looking like that, yes, slightly more bullish activity. It's actually significantly more, but it could be a lot of people selling those premiums and a lot of people just collecting premium. If you take a look at the stats for those orders that came in, you will see that most of the volume that trades, it trades between 0 to 60 delta. Only from today's volume, only 16% of the call flow was from 6200 closer to the money. And you can see identical situation with puts. Most of the puts, I'm believing they were sold. You can see they were between 0 to 60, and only 5% of the volume that came in for the puts were closer to the money or in the money. So that's the update for Nvidia so far, neutral to bullish right here right now for me, but that's the update going into the weekend. See you on Friday. Thanks for watching.